Hi, I'm Jeff Loomis, and you're here watching The Age of Metal.
Hey everyone, this is Miguel with The Age of Metal, and I'm here on Tempe, Arizona with Jeff Loomis. He's going to be playing tonight here at the Club Red. How's the tour going so far, Jeff?
Great, having an awesome time. All the bands are super cool. Everybody's really laid back and chilled out, so yeah, it's been very fun so far, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, let's start talking about who is coming with you in this tour. Who is the band in this tour?
Okay, basically I'm working with 3 other musicians. One of the other guitar players that's basically playing rhythm guitar is a guitarist by the name of Joe Neary, and he's from my hometown, Seattle. The other 2 guys that I'm playing with are Anup Sastry on drums and Greg Macklin on bass, and they're from the East Coast, basically Maryland. Frederick, Maryland.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, I mean, coming up this April, you have a new album coming up.
Yep.
Called Plains of Oblivion.
Yep.
What can you tell us about the album?
Well, it's very diverse, for sure. There's a lot of stuff going on musically. There's elements of thrash. There's elements of, shred guitar going on. Really cool different kinds of vocal stylings going on from Christine Rhodes, whom a lot of Nevermore fans would know that she actually worked with us back on the Dreamy Neon Black record. And also Isan from Emperor sings on a track, so it's really diverse. Excellent guest guitarists on the record. Marty Friedman, Chris Poland, and Tony McAlpine, all doing special guest guitar solos. Buy the record. I think you're really going to like it. For fans of guitar music and anything else, that's heavy, I think you'll dig the record. So pick it up.
How was the writing process of Plains of Oblivion?
Pretty much it's the same way I always approach writing. I basically just sat down in my studio for about a good month, just writing riff after riff and compiling them all together and putting them all together like a big puzzle, and I think every guitarist has their own chemistry of the way they do things, but that's how I do things. I just come up with a basic demo of the music and then introduce it to the rest of the band members that are playing on the record, and just kind of take it like that, and that's the way I've always worked. Very simple process, but works for me.
Really good to hear. Well, like you mentioned, you have guesses as Martin Freeman, Chris Poland, and Attila Veros.
Yep.
Also, vocal guesses by Christine Rhodes and Insa, ex-Emperor.
Yes. Yep.
How was the process to pick up these artists, and how was the experience working with them?
Excellent. I mean, basically, like I said before, Christine has always been a friend of mine from back in the early Nevermore days, and I've always wanted to do a project with her. And the last time Nevermore played the Key Club in Los Angeles, I approached her and asked her if she wanted to be a part of the record. And I ended up writing 4 songs with her. Two of them made the record. The other 2 songs that I did with her are going to be on the Japanese Jeff Loomis bonus disc. Isan was something that was an idea that came at the very end of the recording process. I basically wrote him an email saying, I have this song that's very heavy, and would you be interested in doing it? I sent him the track, and he loved it. He sent me all the vocal tracks about a week and a half later, and I was so blown away. I was just so happy, because it really made the song happen. Marty Friedman, Chris Poland, and Tony McAlpine are all friends of mine, and really it was as simple as writing them emails and asking them if they would be a part of the record, and they all obliged and said yes, so I'm really fortunate. Yeah.
Great, that's a great lineup to have on this record. Also, producing the record was you and Aaron Smith of Seven Horse, Seven Eyes.
Yeah.
How was the experience working with him, knowing that you in the past worked with producers like Andy Snaps and Peter Witches?
Yep. Well, Aaron has been a close friend of mine for about 4 or 5 years. He lives right down the street from me, and he's been doing a lot of side work for me, And I started noticing a lot of the work that he was doing was sounding really amazing. So I was like, rather than finding another producer to work with, I politely asked him if he would be a part of my record and want to produce it. and he was really, really psyched and said yes. So I've worked with a lot of seasoned producers, of course, like Andy Sneap and Neil Kernan, and to work with a younger guy that's, with less experience, but it was a hard choice, really, but he made the record sound so good, and I'm very happy with the outcome of it, and he's a very talented artist that people should look for in the future.
Yeah, I hear a little bit of the work of Seven Horse, Seven Eyes. Well, also in these records, from your point of view, how do you see the difference between Zero Order, Phase, and Plains of Oblivion?
I would say that it's just simply a record that had a lot more time to be worked out. Because obviously when Zero Order Phase was happening, I was still in Nevermore, and I really didn't have a lot of time to work on that record. It happened very quickly. With Plains of Oblivion, I had about 3 or 4 months to really get things together. Another thing that really helped was a lot of the record was recorded right in my home studio. So you're able to wake up in the morning with a cup of coffee and relax, chill out, not worry about spending money in a real studio. The only thing we really did in a real studio was the drums. Everything else was recorded pretty much at my house. So it was a very laid-back environment, just extremely chilled out, and I had a really good time doing it, man. I was able to put a lot of time and energy into it, and I think it really shows.
No, for the samples that I'm seeing online, it looks great. Also, the album cover. Let's talk about a little bit of the album cover, which is really abstract.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the idea behind of the album cover and who did it?
Well, I mean, Plains of Oblivion, I get asked all sorts of questions if I'm like a gamer, because it has something to do with gaming. I'm not really into that. Plains of Oblivion to me means escapism and really just, going into another area of your life where you're just focusing on music. That's what it means to me. But the record cover really is just my interest in, space, time travel, just something like that, It's kind of hard to describe, really. Seeing as though that it's most of an instrumental record, you really don't have to get too in-depth lyrically. It's really about the music, and that's really what the record is about. It's showcasing the music that I write. So.
All right. The record also, well, I mean, this question is more towards, like, you've been in the scene for a long time, not just, with Nevermore and with other bands like Sanctuary before.
Yeah.
What you will say or advise to kids that they pick up the guitar, come to your shows, buy your records, and they want to make it into as a career in the music industry and pretty much doing metal? Sure.
The thing that I would suggest would be to really keep an open mind when you're listening to music. A lot of the guitar students that I had back in, the day when I used to teach, always focused on one style of music, and that kind of gets a little boring, I had a lot of students that were like, I just listen to death metal, and I'm like, well, open up your mind a little bit more and check out something else, Listen to some jazz music or some classical music or something that's going to expand your mind a bit more, So that's really important. I think another thing is to get into a band right away and correspond with other musicians, because you see a lot of kids out there, I call them bedroom guitar players, that just sit and, noodle around in their bedroom for 9 days. That's not really going to get you that far, you know what I'm saying? Really, what the focal point is going to be is the music itself, and I think it's really important to both work on technique and picking and all that stuff, but at the same time work on writing a good song and playing in a band. So that's the best advice I could give.
All right, what is going to be next for Jeff Loomis after the tour and after the album is released?
Well, I'm kind of taking baby steps really right now, after being in Nevermore for almost 18 years. I'm not, trying to move fast, forward too fast, you know what I'm saying? So right now I want to see what I can do as a solo artist, and I'm having fun so far. People are really digging this stuff. And then after this, I think I'm probably going to focus on forming a new band with a full-time vocalist. Probably do another record and tour the world and keep on doing it, I just feel lucky that I'm still here after all this time and playing for, fans and a new generation of fans at that, It's pretty cool. So I'm just happy to be here.
Actually, that sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, thank you very much for giving us the time to sit here and talk to us at DH Metal. There was a report from Miguel with DH Metal.